In the maze, Phyllis asks Kane what happened. Kane doesn't know. She says they have to help Damien. Kane tells her, he's gone. Damien is dead. Phyllis is sure she can help him. She brought Sharon back to life with CPR. Kane hollers that he has a knife in his back. Phyllis urges him to call for help and mocks him for not having a doctor on staff. Kane reminds her the roads are closed. No one is coming to help. Phyllis backs away and Kane gawps, "You think I did this? You think I killed Damien?" Kane denies that he stabbed Damien. They were civil and sharing a bottle of bourbon. Phyllis learns it was his idea, and Kane says he only wanted to warn him to treat Lily well. She made her choice, and he had to respect that. Phyllis muses, "The knife says differently." Kane tells her to stop. She asks if he poisoned the bourbon. Kane says they both got lightheaded. They tried to walk, and Damien pitched forward. Then he noticed the dagger sticking out of his back. Phyllis says, "You're not woozy." Kane tells her it was shocked out of him. Kane asks if she saw anyone who could have done this. Phyllis says no one was around. Kane guesses the person threw the knife from a distance. Phyllis tells Kane he's the only one who would want Damien dead. Kane argues that maybe Damien wasn't the intended victim. He needs to alert his staff and find Chance. He walks off. Phyllis follows him. In the center of the maze, Lily rejoins Amanda, who asks if she found Damien. Lily didn't. She can't understand where he went. Amanda thinks he's maybe still with Kane. Lily worries her ex is putting Damien through the ringer. Amanda's sure he can hold his own. Lily complains that this Dumas version of Kane isn't the man she knew. She doesn't believe a word coming out of his mouth. Amanda thinks Kane is handling her romantic relationship as a gentleman. She practically threw it in his face. Lily questions what the two men could possibly be talking about. Amanda realizes she's genuinely concerned about Kane's intentions toward Damien. "You really care about Damien," she observes. Lily says it's real. He's become special to her. Amanda's happy for her. Finding someone you really trust is rare. Lily doesn't want Kane to interfere. Amanda thinks she can help convince Kane to let go of the idea of reconciling with her. She tells Lily she was at the center of all the party planning. Lily feels he needs to move on. Amanda warns he's profoundly in love with her. He'll go to any lengths necessary to win her back. Amanda believes that Kane wants Lily to be happy. They go over their history, and Amanda says it's a part of who they are. It's hard to put out that kind of spark. Lily says it's gone on her end. Kane will have to accept that. Amanda warns he won't give up and loves a challenge. The more she resists, the more he'll pursue her. Lily asks what Amanda will do to help and complains about her constantly defending him. They go over Lily hoping Kane is not giving Damien a hard time. Lily asks why Amanda is so intent on pushing this issue. On the train, Abby and Devin sip whiskey sours and Miss Dom. Chance appears and makes small talk about being stranded there. They agree that the party is over. Abby wonders if Kane still thinks someone will try to murder him. Chance scoffs that he hasn't seen anything to suggest his life is in danger. Devin wonders if the money made him paranoid. Chance thinks Devin might be right about Kane being paranoid. Abby almost feels sorry for him. Devin doesn't. He's wasting their time. Chance is tired of the games and mazes, but he needed a getaway. They talk about missing Dom some more. Devin's sure the road will be open soon. Chance says Kane seems less concerned than the rest of them. Abby thinks he likes having a captive audience. Devin feels bad for Damien and Amy being separated, given her circumstances. Kane and Phyllis appear and ask if they've seen Amanda. Devin says she was with Lily. Abby asks, "What's wrong?" Kane stammers that he has to find Amanda and then asks to speak to Chance privately. They file out of the car and Devin and Abby ask Phyllis what happened, why he was looking for his lawyer, and why he needed to speak with Chance so urgently. "What happened?" Phyllis asks Devin and Abby to give her a minute, but they don't let up and keep firing questions at her. She tells them again to back off and pours a drink. Abby can tell she's rattled and pleads with her to talk to them so they can help. If there's a threat, they need to know about it. Phyllis asks them to stop pressuring her and walks off. In the maze, Kane takes Chance to Damien's body. Chance asks, "What the hell?" Kane tells him he needs to figure out who did this and why. Quickly. He notices the dagger is gone, and Chance asks him to tell him what happened. Start from the beginning. Kane tells him he and Damien were sharing a bottle of bourbon. Chance asks what they were talking about, but Kane questions how that's relevant. Chance shoots him a look, so he says, Lily. He insists there was mutual respect. They also talked about family and losing their fathers. Chance asks how they got to a knife in his back. Kane says they started feeling fuzzy, and the bourbon may have been laced. He tried to help him up, and the next thing he knew, there was a dagger in his back. He saw nothing suspicious, but Phyllis appeared after he caught him in his arms. You need to solve this, Chance. Someone wants him dead. That dagger was intended for him, not Damien. Chance questions where the hell the dagger has gone. Kane tells Phyllis saw it too. Maybe the killer waited for them to leave and then came to collect the evidence. Chance believes him. He asks about the wooziness. Kane says neither of them felt right. Chance says it was likely drugged, not poison. Kane points out he was the intended target. The bottle was from his private collection. They realize the bottle and glasses are gone. The killer must have taken them too. Chance asks Kane if he touched the dagger. He did not. Chance asks what Phyllis saw. Kane says, You'll have to ask her. Chance snaps photos of the body and asks if he knows what direction the knife came from. Kane can't be sure. Chance wants a description of the dagger. Kane says it was an antique. It was mine. Chance recalls seeing the collection in the club car, but nothing seemed out of place there. Kane says anyone could have taken it. The case was unlocked. Chance wants to contact local authorities, but Kane reminds him cell service is down and the roads are out. Chance is sick of hearing this. Kane wants to put Damien in the freezer while they collect evidence. He needs Chance to find out who tried to kill him. He'll pay him $500,000 to be his private investigator. Get to the bottom of this. Please, help me. In the center of the maze, Amanda tells Lily she wants her and Kane to be happy. Lily finds this hard to believe. Amanda tells her Kane keeps a picture of her in his desk. He told her everything about their relationship and his regrets. He's willing to make amends. Lily wants him to go live his life. Amanda reminds her he's moving back to Genoa City. Lily asks why she even cares what happens. With or without Damien, she will never get back with Kane. Abby and Devin run up and tell them something has happened, and they don't know what. Kane and Phyllis came into the club car. Kane left with Chance, and Phyllis was terribly rattled and took off. Lily recalls that Kane thought someone was trying to kill him. Abby was thinking the same thing. Lily is stunned to hear Kane was shaken, and it wasn't a game. Amanda runs off to find her boss. Devin asks Lily why Kane wanted to talk to Damien. Lily's more concerned about someone wanting Kane dead. Abby admits Phyllis was a wreck and was definitely hiding something. Lily doesn't like this and takes off. Elsewhere in the maze, Phyllis runs into Nick, who insists he has to go find Sharon, who went back to the train car. He's supposed to meet her back in the maze. Phyllis knows him and can tell he's not okay. What did you see? She asks. Nick gripes that all he's seen is hedges. The maze is all different. Phyllis agrees. Nick needs to find Sharon. Phyllis agrees. Don't keep her waiting, or keep me waiting. He asks if she's okay. Is this about earlier? He reminds her of their conversation where he warned her not to trust Kane. Phyllis says, Oh no, it's much worse than that. He asks how much worse it can be. She says, life or death. Phyllis warns, it's bad. Nick wonders if Kane told her he didn't have a place for her in his organization. What is going on with you? Let me help you. She says, you can't. Just then, Lily appears and asks if they've seen Damien. Phyllis steps away and agonizes as Lily explains to Nick that he was with Kane. She notices Phyllis and asks, What do you know? What happened? Phyllis stammers, The truth is... Just then, Kane and Chance appear. Kane tells Lily, I'm so sorry. Carter and another employee appear with Damien on a stretcher under a sheet. Kane tries to stop Lily, but she hollers at him not to manage her. She rips the sheet off, saying, I want to know who this is. Seeing that it's Damien and that he's dead, Lily reels in shock. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Young and Restless spoilers warn that Nick will make a shocking discovery this week, and what he uncovers will throw Chance's murder investigation, not to mention the Newman family, into a total tailspin. The teaser reads like Nick will stumble upon another dead body, but the truth may be almost as disturbing. If our hunch is correct, Nick will uncover the murder weapon, along with the half-drank bottle of bourbon, and Kane and Damien's whiskey glasses from the scene of the crime. Obviously, the evidence will point to a suspect depending on where it's found, and that's where the horrible twist comes in. Given the spoilers that follow, we're all but certain Nick will uncover the smoking gun, dagger, amongst his own personal items in his train car. Why do we believe this to be true? Immediately after the discovery, teasers have Victor protecting his family's interests, which sure sounds to us like Nicholas is in deep trouble. More to the point, Young and Restless spoilers indicate that on Friday's episode, Sharon takes matters into her own hands to help Nick. So, what's going on here? Well, we smell a setup. We all know Nick's not a murderer, but the real killer had the perfect frame-up job fall right into their gloved hands. How? You ask? Well, Nick was threatening Kane, who is believed to have been the real target, just a few days prior when he warned him about going after his mother or sister. That was on the heels of another confrontation between the two a day before. Nick also believes Kane is up to no good with his ex-wife Phyllis. Sure, these are flimsy motives, but motives nonetheless. Worse, Nick will be unable to account for his whereabouts when Damien was downed by the dagger. Phyllis will be forced to admit she found him wandering the maze by himself in an agitated state. He claimed it was because the hedges had been moved, but yeah, that's not going to hold water. It sure looks to us like Nick is about to zoom to the top of Chance's suspect list. Do you think Nick will be framed? Vote! And that's all they wrote for the Young and the Restless Damien Kane. On Monday, someone threw a knife into his back while he and Kane were having poisoned drinks and rehashing the past few years together. We aren't quite sure who did the deed just yet, but it's already abundantly clear that Damien is indeed very dead. Jermaine Rivers posted a farewell video online after Monday's episode aired, thanking everyone who gave him the opportunity to bring Damien Kane to life. Thank you to Joshua Griffith and the rest of the producers and CBS for giving me this amazing opportunity to be a part of such an iconic show. Huge thank you to fans who tuned in and showed love. You guys are awesome. Rivers went on to confirm in the video itself that that's what it is, at least for now. Damien Kane has met an untimely demise. He knew, it turns out, that Damien wouldn't survive the France trip even before they left for it. But he's just grateful for the chance to bring a character like Damien to life the last 7-8 months. I got to play a multitude of emotions to really flesh out who this person was, with all his complexities, with his relationship with his mom, with his half-brother, his friends, best friend, and potential love interest. We got to go on a ride and really play into these moments truthfully. Check out his full video below as he thanks the fans Griffith, head of casting Greg Salmon, for seeing something in me that resonated, and the cast. Because at the end of the day, Rivers says, it's not about me, it's not about one person on the show, it's about the collective. So Damien may be gone for now, but you never know who may show up down the line in Genoa City. After all, this is far from Kane's first return, whether from death or exile. Someday, maybe Damien and Rivers will be back once again. The Young and the Restless, recap for Tuesday, July 15th, reveals that Lily Winters will see Damien Kane's dead body after Kane Ashby offers Chance Chancellor to be his private investigator on this crime. First on Tuesday's YNR episode, Lily Winters will bicker with Amanda Sinclair, who'll express doubt about Kane truly being willing to move on. Amanda will suggest maybe she could get through to Kane for Lily, but she'll also hint about Kane being someone who's willing to go to any lengths necessary to win back the woman he loves. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers will want to get Damien some medical help, but Kane will insist he's already gone, and there's no doctor on the premises. Phyllis will grow suspicious of Kane being behind this attack, but he'll spill the whole story and maintain that he's innocent. Since the culprit threw the dagger from a distance, Kane will think he was the intended victim instead. Kane and Phyllis will head back to the train car looking for Chance and Amanda, so their rattled behavior will leave Devin Winters and Abby Winters wondering what's going on. After Kane leads Chance away, Abby and Devin will grill Phyllis about what she knows. Phyllis will get overwhelmed by all the questions and bolt on them, which will give her a chance to run into Nick Newman just outside the maze. Nick will be eager to get back to Sharon Newman, so Phyllis will ask what he saw and suspect maybe he knows more than he's letting on. However, Nick will ultimately ask if Phyllis is okay and wonder if this is about his earlier Kane warning. Phyllis will admit it's worse and hint about it being a matter of life and death. Devin and Abby will also catch up with Amanda and Lily, so they'll talk about Kane looking for Chance and Amanda. Since Kane recently talked about a deadly threat against him, there'll be suspicions that maybe something happened related to that. Back with Kane, he'll take Chance to Damien's body and see that the antique dagger from his collection has been removed. The bourbon bottle and glasses they were drinking from earlier will also be gone. Kane will realize someone must have removed evidence and will feel certain that he was the intended target of this attack. After Kane updates Chance on how it all played out, Chance will plan to talk to Phyllis and get her side of things too. Chance will put Kane through an interrogation, but he'll ultimately seem like he believes the culprit was targeting Kane instead of Damien. Although Chance will want to bring in the local authorities, Kane will shut down that plan. Chance will protest since he needs forensics and a coroner, but Kane will argue that the best he can do is a walk-in freezer. Kane will want to store the body there while Chance digs around on his own for now, and he'll be willing to pay Chance $500,000 to be his private investigator. Once Lily goes looking for Damien and finds Phyllis with Nick, Phyllis will seem like she's about to break some bad news. There'll be an interruption since Carter and another staff member will help move Damien's body with a sheet over it. Kane will tell Lily that he's so sorry before she lifts up the sheet and sees Damien's corpse. The sight of dead Damien will leave Lily horrified, so she'll gasp and cover her mouth with her hand. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Nick Newman could become a frame-up victim. Will the real killer make this Newman family member look guilty and try to throw the murder investigation off track? Since the killer threw the dagger from a distance, Kane Ashby suspects he may have been the intended target. Based on Chance Chancellor's assessment in the July 15th episode, he seems to believe Kane's theory is the right one. In other words, Kane and Chance are thinking Damien Kane wasn't meant to drink the drugged bourbon from Kane's private stash, nor was he meant to take a dagger to the back. However, if someone was going to this much trouble to kill Kane, it's hard to believe they'd miss. It seems likely that Kane and Chance are wrong, so we should consider the possibility that killing Damien was indeed the culprit's goal. Carter makes the most sense as someone who'd want to wipe Damien off the map and secretly do his boss a favor, at least from his perspective. Perhaps Carter felt like he should eliminate Lily Winters' new boyfriend and give Kane the best chance at winning her back. This may be an extreme act of loyalty on Carter's part. Of course, the party guests don't trust Kane at all, so there are going to be plenty of fingers pointed at him. Kane will be forced to defend himself against some fatal accusations since he was the last person with Damien before his demise. Carter won't want to make himself look guilty if he's indeed the killer, but he won't want Kane looking guilty either, especially not to Lily. That means Carter could be looking to frame someone else. So what about Nick? For starters, Nick has already been in Kane's face with warnings about protecting his family. Maybe Carter could decide to make it seem like Nick was trying to defend the Newmans and their empire by targeting Kane, only to miss him and inadvertently strike Damien. We should also note that after Lily saw Damien's dead body in the July 15th episode, Nick was there to put his arms around her and offer comfort. Carter had a front row seat to that, so he might worry Nick could become romantic competition for Kane, too. Whatever the case, Nick's on the verge of making a major discovery. What if the missing dagger gets planted in Nick's private train car? Could the missing bourbon bottle and glasses end up there too? Other Y&R spoilers for the week of July 14th to 18 indicate that Victor Newman will focus on family protection, and later, Sharon Newman will take charge of a situation to help Nick. Could all that mean Nick will become a frame-up victim? Will Nick come forward with the evidence, or hide it knowing he could be blamed? Genoa City has been rocked by a murder mystery that's sending shockwaves through the community. The tragic death of Damian Kane has not only left one man dead, but has also ignited a chain of suspicion, betrayal, and corporate intrigue. At the center of it all is Kane Ashby, once viewed as a heartbroken ex-husband, now seen by many as a dangerous man with a hidden agenda. The drama unfolded at a secluded vineyard in the south of France, where Kane Ashby and Damian Kane met for what was supposed to be a peaceful conversation. Instead, Damian was found dead, stabbed with a knife and with traces of poison in his system. Strangely, the poison wasn't enough to kill. The fatal blow came from a precise knife strike, pointing to a calculated and professional killer. From the very beginning, all fingers pointed to Kane. He had the motive. Damian was romantically involved with Lily Winters, Kane's ex-wife. He had the opportunity, inviting Damian to the isolated vineyard that fateful night. And witnesses confirmed Kane's recent angry outbursts towards Damian, including public confrontations and heated words. But as the investigation unfolds, disturbing details suggest this might be more than a crime of passion. Detective Chance Chancellor was the first on the scene and quickly realized something wasn't adding up. The scene was chaotic: broken glass, a poisoned wine bottle, and Damian dead from a knife wound. Yet, Kane appeared calm, strangely collected despite the tragedy. Behind the headlinees lies a tangled story of deception involving corporate powerhouses like Newman Enterprises and mysterious figures such as Holden Novak. Novak, a known fixer, resurfaced in Genoa City shortly before Damian's death, reportedly working behind the scenes on deals linked to Damian's rapid business expansion. Phyllis Summers, always one step away from controversy, revealed troubling secrets before her laptop was mysteriously wiped. She claimed Newman Enterprises had been watching Damian, suspecting him of illegal activities involving high-profile corporate players. Could Kane have been a pawn in a much larger scheme? Or, as new evidence suggests, was he orchestrating events from the shadows? While public opinion remains focused on Kane, other theories are gaining traction. One points to Victor Newman, who may have seen Damian as a threat to his empire. Another theory suggests Aristotle Dumas, a criminal mastermind with ties to Damian, may have ordered the hit, using Holden Novak to finish the job. Surprisingly, despite Kane's perfect motive, there's no direct evidence linking him to the fatal knife attack. There were no fingerprints on the murder weapon, no eyewitnesses, and unsettling signs that the entire scene was staged to frame Kane. Perhaps the most heart-wrenching element of this saga is Lily Winters' role. Caught in the middle, Lily must now reconcile the loss of Damian with the devastating possibility that Kane may be guilty, or worse, that someone is targeting both of them. When she confronted Kane in custody, his chilling response left her shaken. "I didn't kill him, but someone knew I'd be blamed. Someone knew you'd hate me for it." Now, Lily faces the harsh reality of losing Damian while watching Kane's life unravel. As Chance Chancellor digs deeper, whispers of another looming tragedy circulate. Reports suggest someone is tying up loose ends, and Lily could be the next target. The case, initially seen as a simple crime of jealousy, now appears to be part of a far-reaching conspiracy involving money, power, and revenge. The question remains, was Damian just an unfortunate casualty, or is there a darker force manipulating everyone from behind the scenes? Fans of The Young and the Restless are in for a whirlwind of drama as the latest twist leaves Genoa City shaken. The shocking death of Damian has raised more questions than answers, especially as Kane appears to have been the intended victim. With secrets, rivalries, and betrayals at every turn, suspicion looms large over several familiar faces. The tragic death of Damian, who had only recently professed his love for Lily, has left viewers heartbroken. Their budding romance was cut short in the most brutal way. Just after sharing intimate moments, Damian was suddenly killed by a knife attack. However, speculation suggests Damian was not the intended target. It was Kane who was likely meant to be taken out. As Chance investigates, a growing list of suspects comes to light, each with their own dark pasts and motives. The party at the chateau turned from a glamorous affair into a crime scene, with several attendees having histories of violence. Victor Newman's ruthlessness, Phyllis's bloody past, Billy's criminal tendencies, and Nikki's drunken misdeeds all cast shadows over the night's events. Several theories have emerged regarding who might be behind the fatal stabbing. Holden, Kane's associate, seems like a surprising suspect. While he remained in Genoa City during the incident, his unpredictable and aggressive behavior raises concerns. Could Holden have orchestrated the attack from afar, using his absence as an alibi? Carter, Kane's current assistant, is another name in the mix. Frustrations over Kane's manipulative tactics might have pushed Carter to seek revenge, fearing betrayal similar to what happened to Damien and Holden. Kane himself is not above suspicion. There's speculation that Kane may have staged the attack to gain sympathy or divert attention from his own misdeeds. Some theories even suggest the stabbing was meant to be a non-lethal setup to prolong his schemes, only for Damien to become collateral damage. Colin, Kane's father, has been presumed dead, but questions remain. Though unlikely due to reported health concerns of actor Tristan Rogers, some fans wonder if Colin could have orchestrated a plan to scare Kane, only for things to spiral out of control. Victor Newman stands as a prime suspect in many eyes. Known for his ruthless tactics, Victor might have aimed to eliminate Duma, before realizing Kane was the man behind the identity. With years of business rivalry and animosity, Victor certainly had motive to strike. While the focus is on familiar faces, there's growing concern among fans that the true culprit may be an unknown figure, perhaps an enemy from Kane's murky business dealings or a forgotten rival. This possibility has sparked frustration, with many viewers hoping the story remains anchored to the main characters rather than introducing a random assailant. Interestingly, Kane's decision to bring Chance to the party, coupled with pre-existing warnings of threats, has raised eyebrows. Some believe Kane may have set this entire ordeal in motion as a last-ditch effort to buy himself more time in Genoa City. However, the plan seems to have gone tragically off course, leaving Damien dead and the partygoers trapped in a murder mystery. As investigations continue, The Young and the Restless promises even more intense drama ahead. With multiple suspects and hidden motives, the storyline keeps fans guessing who is truly behind the fatal attack. Whether it's Kane's own doing, Victor's master plan, or a vengeful associate, one thing is certain: the aftermath of Damien's death will have lasting repercussions for everyone involved. In the world of Genoa City, happiness is a fleeting and dangerous commodity. This was never clearer than at the Abbott Mansion, where the quiet hum of a cocktail party was shattered by the arrival of Lily Winters and Damien Hayes. Walking in hand, their newfound bliss was a public declaration. But for Kane Ashby, it was a dagger to the heart. As he swirled his wine, trying to mask his torment alongside a keenly observant Amanda Sinclair, Lily solidified her choice, severing her past with Kane with a devastating finality. Sensing the explosive tension, Kane lured Damien away from the glittering crowd for a private drink, leading him into the chilling shadows of a garden maze. There, armed with a special bottle of whiskey, Kane confessed his undying love for Lily, but swore he would finally let her go. Yet, as the whiskey flowed, a terrifying realization dawned on both men. A strange dizziness overtook them, their senses dulling, their bodies betraying them. They weren't having a heart-to-heart. They were falling into a trap. Suddenly, their strength failed, their legs buckling. They were victims of a cruel, unseen hand that had drugged their shared drink. Before either man could process the betrayal, a gloved figure emerged from the oppressive darkness. From the shadows, a knife glinted before plunging into Damien's back. He collapsed into the arms of a stunned and staggering Kane, his blood staining the ground. And who should stumble upon this horrific tableau? None other than Phyllis Summers. The scene was damning. Kane, drenched in blood, holding the man who had stolen his love. But the nightmare was just beginning. At Genoa City Memorial, Damien miraculously clings to life, his memory a shattered mosaic of the attack. While everyone, especially a horrified Lily, prays for his recovery, his survival has turned the true hunter into the hunted. The mastermind behind the attack cannot afford for Damien to remember the truth. The hospital, once a sanctuary, has become a new hunting ground, with every friendly visitor and anonymous staff member posing a potential threat. The killer knows their time is running out. As a shadowy figure slipped silently into Damien's hospital room, intending to finish the job, Damien's eyes flew open. In that heart-stopping moment, a flash of memory, a flicker of recognition. The face of his attacker suddenly became terrifyingly clear. As the killer lunges, will Damien's revelation come in time to save him, or will the truth die with him in the sterile silence of his room? The answer hangs on a razor's edge. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Jordan might disrupt Cole Howard's memorial if the series seizes the ideal chance for a comeback. With Cole now gone, Victoria Newman and Claire Newman are facing some tough decisions regarding the arrangements, especially since most of their family is still overseas. Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. Alongside the decision regarding Cole's urn, there was discussion about Claire potentially reciting the same poem that Cole had at her memorial as an infant. If the service were to take place now, attendance would be quite low, so the intention is to delay it until the Newman family is back from France. Currently, Y&R is concentrating on the chaos in Nice, but there's still a possibility for Cole to have a memorial when the moment is appropriate. Should the service be featured on screen, it could serve as a fantastic opportunity to introduce some excitement. Up to this point, several fans have expressed dissatisfaction with Cole's death, lacking significant dramatic impact. If you plan to eliminate a character, it's essential to ensure it's truly impactful. Imagine the surprise of blowing up Cole's memorial service with a shocking twist. What if this is the moment Jordan decides to make a grand return? Jordan has always had a knack for survival, so perhaps she has a few more lives left. Even though Jordan was believed to have perished from poison at the Tack House, this is a soap opera where anything is possible. It's conceivable that Jordan could have been secretly brought back to life if that was indeed a dramatic ruse. Just picture the shock on Claire, Victoria, and all the other attendees at Cole's memorial if Jordan were to show up unannounced. Total chaos could ensue if Jordan reappears and seeks revenge once more. Alternatively, Jordan might choose to remain hidden, playing mind games with Claire. She could potentially haunt Claire, leaving behind hints of her return from the dead. It's possible that Jordan will attempt to drive Claire to her breaking point, taking a stealthy route to her revenge until the moment is right to show herself. In any case, The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that surprises may be on the horizon at Cole's memorial, so keep an eye out for any shocking developments ahead. Nick shocked to discover Phyllis and Kane destroyed Damien's body to cover up crime. Y&R spoilers. The Young and the Restless, full episode. Tuesday, 7/15, 2025. The Young and the Restless. Bloody mystery behind Damien's death. Who is the killer? In just one short night, the entire city of Genoa was plunged into extreme uncertainty and confusion. Damien's sudden death not only caused a wave of horror in the hearts of fans, but also shook the already tense plot of The Young and the Restless. Loyal fans of the series constantly asked, who killed Damien? What was the real motive? Who else will fall before this mystery is solved? As the audience reeled in curiosity, all suspicions focused on the complicated relationships, hidden conspiracies, and undiscovered secrets of each character involved in this murder case. At the center of all suspicions was Kane Ashby, a man famous for his complicated past and unrequited feelings for Lily Winters. Just a few days before Damien collapsed in a pool of blood, Kane had bluntly threatened him, even warning Damien to stay away from Lily in a cold, decisive tone that made anyone who witnessed it shudder. But that was just the beginning of a series of tragedies that were about to flood every street of Genoa. The fateful event took place on July 14th, a day that none of the people involved would ever forget. While everything seemed to be peaceful, Kane suddenly took the initiative to invite Damien out for a drink. This move surprised many people, but for Damien, it was just a daily meeting, or at least he tried to think so. However, hidden behind the sparkling glasses of wine, in the forced laughter, were the hidden calculations of both. Neither Kane nor Damien could trust the other, and the atmosphere at the bar seemed thick with the smell of conspiracy and lies. As the evening progressed, Damien suddenly accused Kane of trying to kill him. The accusation was born of a sudden feeling of dizziness. Damien's mind was spinning. His senses were out of control. Kane, trying to stay calm, pointed out that they were both drinking from the same bottle, a move that was both defensive and an affirmation that he could not have been the one to poison his friend. However, they both quickly realized that they were under the influence of some kind of drug that had been secretly added to the wine. Who had drugged them? What was the real motive? And could it be that the real target was not Damien, but Kane, or even someone else? Just as they were both bewildered, teetering on the thin line between sanity and darkness, a mysterious figure quietly appeared nearby. When no one was paying attention, a sharp knife was suddenly thrown, stabbing Damien in the back, causing him to collapse in fear and extreme pain. Chaos immediately erupted. Screams rang out, wine was splashed on the floor, and Kane, in a panic, only had time to hold Damien, who was dying, blood pouring from his fatal wound. Puzzling games are turning sinister on the young and the restless as Kane's guests face unexpected danger. The atmosphere at Dumas/Kane's French estate is both heavy with distrust and dark with counterplans. The upcoming week of July 14th, 2025, will find the Genoa City residents scrambling to save themselves as the police guest looks for clues to a crime. The previous week on The Young and the Restless found Nick asking Phyllis to stay alert to Kane's plans. While he did not know that Phyllis committed herself to her wily host, Nick cautioned her to stick to the people she knew. However, when she claimed to know her path, Nick was stern with his warnings. Meanwhile, Adam trekked up the mountain to reach his father and inform him about the new real estate buyouts happening in town. While Nick shared that Kane was Dumas, Adam informed them about the unknown company named Arabesque that was buying up all available spaces around their companies. On the other hand, Kyle and Audra convinced Kane to invest in their idea, while the latter found their interaction more than professional. Meanwhile, Victoria and Claire handled their grief without their loved ones nearby. Elsewhere, Mariah and Tessa permanently separated on the long-running CBS daily soap, as Mariah recalled killing someone. At the same time, Danny proposed marriage to Christine, who happily accepted. As The Young and the Restless fans know, Kane had his eyes on Lily and Damien since the time they arrived at the Dumas estate. On Thursday's episode, dated July 10, 2025, Kane was furious on witnessing Lily kissing Damien. He held on to his wedding band around his neck. The upcoming week will find Kane inviting Damien to share a conversation over drinks. Since Damien knows about Kane's past with Lily, he may joke about Kane trying to poison him to get to Lily. Since they will pour out the drink from the same source, Kane will assure him that they are drinking the same thing. Poisoning the drink will harm Kane too. However, halfway through their discussion, Damien Kane will likely pass out. The soap's spoilers show a mysterious person looking at Damien as he faints. While Victor has been gunning to beat Kane in his game, The Young and the Restless viewers know Nikki is desperate to leave the place. As such, Nick will want to help his mother and Sharon leave Kane's hospitality. While he will plan and try to execute his escape scheme, things may not fall into place. The soap's spoilers suggest Nick will uncover an unsettling incident, while Phyllis Summers will catch him distraught and ask what he saw. He may be too disturbed to share any information. Whether Nick witnesses a death at the estate remains to be seen. On the other hand, Sharon will likely want to help with Nick's exit strategy. She may take proactive efforts to help Nick escape. However, with a new twist hinting at a crime within the premises, escape may not be an option anytime soon. As The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest, Aristotle Dumas, aka Kane, is likely to summon Chance Chancellor to the estate to investigate a crime. The cop will arrive at the estate to find half of the Genoa City residents cooped up in the maze. As of now, it is not clear what the actual crime will be. It may be a case of poisoning if Damien's passing out is any hint. On the other hand, Kane may also be the target in the long run since he is surrounded by enemies who want to bring him down. However, Chance, the fastidious policeman, will go about his routine detection work. As he will investigate and interrogate, Lily may have valuable intel for him. While Chance will face some dilemmas as he tries to be honest in his work, The crime may have far-reaching consequences. Is it possible Cole could still be alive? Cole's return has sadly come to a tragic end on The Young and the Restless. After a bout of lingering health issues, Cole took his final breath, with Victoria and Claire by his side. Cole's death stunned fans, who are now questioning if they've really seen the last of him. Cole's death will go down as one of Y&R's shocking moments this year. Everything was going well for Cole and Victoria, who had reunited with their long-lost daughter, Claire. However, their happiness would be short-lived. Following a trip, Cole returned home with a lingering cough, which led to more health issues and hospitalization. Despite the doctor's efforts, Cole's condition worsened and he passed away. Cole's death has not only devastated Victoria and Claire, but also fans. However, not everyone is convinced Cole is dead. On Reddit, a fan theory suggests that Jordan may have come back to rescue her nephew. I know a lot of people didn't care for Cole, but as a loyal fan since the 80s, I loved him. So disappointed they killed him off. I'm hoping and praying Jordan is out there and has him locked up somewhere, one fan speculated. While most commenters thought this theory was impossible, some believe it could happen. No one is ever really dead in Soapland unless they donate an organ to another character, wrote one viewer. Although Jordan died back in January, there's always the possibility she's still alive. With how sneaky and resourceful she is, she could still be keeping an eye on her family. Upon hearing of Cole's diagnosis, Jordan could have faked his death and is secretly caring for him. Could Cole, and perhaps Jordan, return from the dead one day? Let us know what you think in the comments section.